Everything you knew about social confidence is wrong. Yeah, you heard me right. Have you ever wondered why 99% of people struggling with shyness just can't seem to break free? Well, sit tight because today, we're diving into a story so powerful, it will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about overcoming social anxiety. But first, a quick question. Have you ever felt like social situations are just a battlefield where you can't win? Like every conversation is a landmine, just waiting to explode in your face? If so, you're not alone. Juan, a longtime subscriber, felt exactly the same way. And today, we're not just going to share his story, we're going to take you through every twist and turn of his incredible journey. And trust me, by the end, you'll be hooked. Juan's story is one of those that make you stop and think, wow, if he can do it, so can I. But here's the kicker, his journey wasn't easy. See, it's raw, it's real, and it's full of those heart-pounding moments where you either step up, fade into the background. Today, we're peeling back the layers of his incredible transformation, and trust me, you're gonna wanna stick around for this one. So let me set the stage for you. Juan, like so many of us, had been trapped in the shadows of his own insecurities for years. We're talking about crippling shyness that turned every social interaction into a nightmare. He was stuck in this cycle of fear and self-doubt, where even the thought of talking to someone new would send him into a spiral of anxiety. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine living every single day under the weight of that fear, where every interaction feels like a trap you're trying to avoid? But here's where things get really interesting. Juan didn't just accept this as his fate. He didn't say, well, I guess this is just who I am. No, Juan decided to fight back. And this is where his story takes a turn that's nothing short of inspiring. You see, Juan to the internet, desperate for a way out of his shell. And in that vast ocean of information, he stumbled upon our community. But what really changed the game for him was a particular course that we recommended. Now, I know what you're thinking, oh great, another self-help course. But let me tell you, this wasn't just any course. For Juan, this was the key that unlocked the door to a whole new life. At first, it was just curiosity. You know how it is, you start with a simple search, hoping to find a quick fix, and before you know it, you're down a rabbit hole of videos, articles, and forums. But something about our community caught Juan's attention. Maybe it was the way we talked about confidence as something you can build, not just something you're born with. Or maybe it was the stories, real, raw stories from people just like him who had found a way to break free from the chains of shyness. And so Juan started watching. He didn't dive in headfirst right away. He dipped his toes in, watching a video here and there, absorbing the advice, but still feeling that nagging doubt in the back of his mind. Could this really work for me, he wondered. After all, he tried other things before: books, articles, even a few awkward attempts at self-improvement, but nothing had ever really stuck. Why would this be any different? But as he watched more and more, something began to shift. It was subtle at first, like a faint light in the distance. He started to notice the common thread running through all these stories: perseverance. These weren't people who had magically transformed overnight. No, they were people who had struggled, who had faced setback after setback, but who had kept going anyway. And that's when it hit him. This wasn't about finding a magic bullet. It was about committing to the journey, no matter how hard it got. So Juan made a decision, a real, solid decision, to give it a shot. He signed up for the course we recommended, and let me tell you, that's when things really started to change. It wasn't just a matter of watching a few videos and taking some notes. No, Juan dove in headfirst, determined to see this through. He knew that if he was going to break free from his shyness, he couldn't do it halfway. He had to commit 100%. Now let's talk about the course for a minute. This wasn't your typical self-help fluff. It was packed with practical, actionable steps, things Juan could start doing right away. And it wasn't just about learning new skills, it was about rewiring his entire mindset, changing the way he saw himself and the world around him. Each lesson was like a new piece of the puzzle. The course broke down social confidence into manageable chunks, focusing on things like body language, eye contact, and the art of conversation. But it went deeper than that. It tackled the root causes of shyness, the limiting beliefs that kept Juan stuck in his old patterns. It challenged him to confront his fears head-on, to push past the discomfort and embrace the awkwardness that comes with growth. Here's the thing, Juan didn't just go through the motions. He lived it. He practiced what he learned every single day, even when it was hard, even when he felt like giving up. Started small. with tiny victories like making eye contact with a stranger or striking up a casual conversation with a coworker. But those small victories started to add up, and before he knew it, Juan was on a roll. One of the most unforgettable moments in Juan's journey was when he found himself at a social event. There was this woman who caught his eye now. Before the course, he would have just admired her from a distance, too scared to even say a word. But this time, Juan took a deep breath, walked over, and started a conversation. And you know what? It wasn't just any conversation. It was the kind of interaction that left both of them smiling, laughing, and genuinely connecting. This was a turning point. For the first time in his life, Juan felt in control not just of the situation, but of himself. He wasn't faking it. He wasn't pretending to be someone he wasn't. He was just being himself. And that was enough. Can you imagine the relief, the sheer joy of realizing that you don't have to put on an act, that you, as you are more than enough? But Juan's transformation didn't stop there. His newfound confidence spilled over every area of his life. At work, he was no longer the guy who shrank in meetings, too afraid to voice his ideas. Instead, he became the one leading discussions, earning respect from his colleagues and superiors alike. His boss even started to notice the change, praising Juan for his initiative and leadership. It was like a domino effect. Once Juan started believing in himself, others started believing in him too. And let's talk about his dating life for a second. For someone who used to dread the mere thought of asking someone out, Juan's weekends have now become filled with fun, engaging dates with amazing women. It's like he's living in a completely different world, one where he's in control, where his shyness no longer dictates his choices. He's gone from feeling invisible to being the guy that everyone wants to be around, and it's not because he's trying to be someone he's not. It's because he's finally embracing who he truly is. Now, let's get real here. Juan's journey wasn't just about learning to talk to people or getting dates. It was about reclaiming his life from the grip of fear. It was about finding the courage to step into his true self and embrace every part of who he is. And the best part, Juan didn't have to do it alone. Our community was there for him every step of the way, offering support, encouragement, and advice whenever he needed it. That sense of belonging, of knowing that he wasn't alone in his struggles, was a game changer. And here's the part where I want to turn it over to you. Yes, you. If Juan's story resonated with you, if you've ever felt like fear is holding you back, then this is your moment. Don't just sit there and think, that's great for Juan, but it could never be me. Because guess what? It can be you. The truth is, we all have that potential inside of us. We all have the ability to change, to grow, to become the person we've always dreamed of being. But it starts with taking that first step, just like Juan did. So, what's stopping you? Maybe you're thinking, I don't know where to start, or what if I fail? But let me tell you, the only failure is in not trying. Juan could have let his fears keep him stuck, but instead, he chose to take action. And look where that got him. If you're ready to start your own journey of transformation, if you're tired of letting shyness or fear rule your life, then take a page out of Juan's book. What do you wait for the perfect moment? Because it might never come. The time to act is now. Now let me paint you another picture. Imagine yourself a few months from now. You're at a social event, and instead of feeling that familiar pang of anxiety, you're actually excited to meet new people. You walk up to someone, introduce yourself, and before you know it, you're deep in conversation, laughing and connecting like it's the most natural thing in the world. Sounds amazing, right? Well, that could be you. Or imagine this. You're at work, and there's a big meeting coming up. Instead of dreading it, you're looking forward to it. You've got ideas and you're ready to share them. When you speak, people listen. They respect your opinions and they can see the confidence you exude. That's the kind of transformation we're talking about here. And it doesn't stop there. What about your personal life? Picture yourself going on dates, not just any dates, but the kind of dates where you feel a real connection, where you're not just trying to impress someone, but actually enjoying yourself, being your true, authentic self. That's the power of confidence, and it's within your reach. But here's the thing. It all starts with a decision. Just like Juan made the decision to take control of his life, you have to make that choice too. And it doesn't have to be a huge leap. Start small, take baby steps if you need to, but start. Start by believing that change is possible. Start by taking action, no matter how small. Drop a comment below and let us know what part of Juan's story hit home for you. Share your thoughts, your fears, your hopes. Let's keep this conversation going. And if you're ready to dive in and take control of your life, check out the link in the description for the course that helped Juan. It might just be the key to your own transformation. Remember, You're stronger than you think, and your story isn't over yet. You have the power to rewrite it just like Juan did. And who knows? Maybe one day we'll be sharing your story here, inspiring others to break free from their own chains. Now let's do this together, one step at a time.